Look, the point is you only thought he was straight because he's a bully, but us gays can be anything we want, son. Lawyers, congressmen, murderers, dentists.
Life coaches for rich people's pets.
I came to save the day, never fear.
Well, Pride Month has reached its end, but I'd still like to talk about my favorite LGBTQ characters in live-action television. So, let's get it. Alright, first up in 5th place is someone who quite easily is the most theatrical and dramatic character on this list, and that character is none other than Titus Andromedon.
I start work Monday at Vonda's uncle's mulch business.
What dear?
I said I'm a homosexual having a panic attack.
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
Born Ronald Wilkerson from Chickasaw County, Mississippi, he was once engaged to a gal until he ran away and changed his name to something more suitable to his theatric nature. Once getting to the Big Apple, things didn't quite go his way. He was rejected from many performance arts opportunities and soon found himself in a rundown apartment, unable to pay his own rent. But his world shifted once he met the great Kimmy Schmidt, a young woman who was held captive for 15 years until her and her bunkmates were discovered. One thing led to another, and this unlikely duo took New York by storm. Titus is brought to life by the amazingly talented Titus Burgess, who often jokes that his character in the show is just an extra version of himself. He also got his big break while working on Broadway, and that Broadway spirit of his can definitely be felt in the character of Titus. My man Mr. Burgess has been nominated for an Emmy a respectable amount. I believe he's gotten an Emmy nod for each season, and it shows too because Titus shines brighter and brighter with each passing story arc. Titus made this list because he's comedically and painfully relatable.
Pizza party for one, divorce, dead and having some fun. Pizza party for one, I don't have pizza.
He's also on this list because of his great talent. Well, that's debatable, but who do you know that can spoof a Beyonce track and make an arguably better version? Well, probably a few people, but no one can do it with the tenacity that Titus did it. Even though Titus isn't known for being, let's say, the most responsible person in the series, he does grow as a person, and I personally found that the way he handled his breakup with Michael to be one of the most mature acts in the entirety of the show. Also, shout out to my girl Tina Fey, who's mad talented, and she's always providing us with great memorable characters, and Titus Andromedon is one of her many stellar creations.
Why am I holding this trash can lid? Why is this real? We on the radio!
Next up in 4th place is Miss Nico from The Runaways.
They're our parents. How could they be such monsters?
For those that don't know, The Runaways is actually based off of a comic that began in 2003 by probably my favorite writer in the business working today, Mr. Brian K. Vaughan. The Runaways is the story of a group of teens whose absurdly wealthy parents get together often for their Pride business meeting. Pride is a charity organization put together by the parents. And one day, while all the kids were hanging out, they all got the bright idea to see what the hell their parents were up to. That was a mistake. See, while spying, they discovered that their folks were not only murderers, but they're also mixed up in some quite literally out of this world bullshit. This in turn brings all the kids much closer in an X-Men kind of way, which leads to each of the kids discovering something unique about themselves. Miss Nico discovers a staff in her mother's room and soon realizes that she is something of a Wiccan who can cast an assortment of spells. Nico is mature, and this might be pushing it a bit, but she's something of the mother figure to the group. She bears a few similarities to that of Katara from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now, in the comics, Nico is not quite my favorite, but in a TV show, they take a little bit of a different approach with her and give her easily the most tragic backstory, which in turn makes her the easiest character to empathize with, which also makes her the easiest character to root for. And I'm not gonna lie, this character is mostly on this list because of how much I love her in the comics. But the TV show actually does an exceptional job at representing how awesome of a lead this young Wiccan really is. Nico is well loved and liked by most fans. It's safe to say that the group would not be the same without her. I mean, what's not to like? The girl's a badass, and she arguably has the cutest relationship in the show. Alright, moving on up into 3rd place is Max from Happy Endings.
Well, it's official. I am retiring from gay. That's right, I'm straight now. From this moment forward, it's gonna be a steady diet of boobs and dudes. damn it.
Max is a part of what I sometimes call the Happy Six. They're probably my favorite friend group in television, besides the Greendale 7 from Community. That's just Squad right there. The Happy Six consists of Dave, who they initially somewhat introduced as the main character, but as you continue with the series, you soon find out that each of them are equally important. Dave is a good guy who, deep into his middle-aged years, still doesn't quite know who he is yet, but his friends are always there to have his back. Next up is Alex, who at one point in time was actually engaged to Dave, and despite her being an airhead at times, she's actually a really hard worker and a people person. After Alex, there's Brad and Jane, who I kid you not, is one of the best couples ever in fiction. Jane is probably the most successful of the bunch, and is actually the sister to the previously mentioned Alex. Brad is everything that Jane isn't, and they complement each other so damn well. Ah, and then there's Penny.
Penny. Penny, 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 Penny.
Penny, much like the homie Titus, is painfully relatable in all the best and worst ways, and is also the gay husband to our topic of discussion, Max. Now mind you, Penny isn't gay nor a husband, but that's just how Max sees her.
You don't need a gay husband. Because you're my gay husband.
Oh, I don't really understand how that works.
Max stands out amongst the six, and it's not because he's gay. It's more the fact that all his friends have jobs, goals, relationships, or a career of some kind. You know, things that most adults have. Max literally has none of those. Honestly, I don't even know how he pays his rent half the time. Also, in the world of stereotypes, he's the straightest gay man on television.
Oh, you know what you should get? Is a real gay guy.
Whoa.
Come on, you're a straight dude who likes dudes. I want a gay who will watch house flipping shows with me and grab my boobs in a platonic way.
So you want a stereotypically flamboyant, cartoonish Sex and the City gay? It's offensive.
Max is an amazing character, but the biggest downside to Max is he's got questionable taste in movies.
Nah, I can't keep arguing with those guys about Tyler Perry movies anymore.
Black folks like Tyler Perry, Max.
No, I love Tyler Perry movies. It's Ray Ray and Tooches that think it's implausible for Medea to keep going back to prison. But like I told them, Mama got tax problems.
What I find most intriguing about Max is he's inherently lazy, but if there's something he wants, he's damn near unstoppable. He's super resourceful and creative. The dynamic between him and his friends I find to be one of the best in television. It's refreshing to say the least. For more on the character of Max and why he's awesome, I highly recommend checking out an article from the HuffPost titled Happy Endings is the most important gay show on TV right now. I found it to be a good read, and honestly, TV does need more characters like Max. He's one of a kind. Let me just get this out of the way and just say that my top 3 are all amazing and equally deserve the first place. Alright people, let's move it on up to the number 2 spot. Let's talk about Omar from The Wire. To put it bluntly, Omar is the best character in what I believe to be the best written TV show of all time. Who is Omar, you say? Well, think Robin Hood, except put homeboy quite literally in the hood. Then make him black, give him a bad step in his walk, and give him an honor system that rivals even the likes of Captain America. That is Omar Little, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and did I mention he's so damn quotable? Oh yeah, homeboy got quotes.
I got the shotgun. Got the briefcase. It's on the game though, right? Fish gotta swim, you know what I'm saying?
This range and this caliber, even if I miss, I can't miss.
If you have not seen The Wire, then you have missed out on one of the greatest achievements in TV. Trust me. Now, before I go into my number 1 choice, let's go over a few honorable mentions that should have made the list, but due to the fact that I can only pick 5, it means someone wasn't gonna make it. Alright, first up is Miss Karen Walker from Will and Grace. I don't necessarily love the show Will and Grace, but I do love the actor Megan Mullally. Every role she's in, she knocks it out of the park. And I'm clearly not the only person who feels this way because she's won a Primetime Emmy for Best Outstanding Actress. This actor is the definition of extra, and ironically enough, she's a character in the already mentioned Happy Endings, the show that stars the lovable Max. Next up on the honorable mentions list is Nolan Ross from Revenge. He's a tech genius who aids Emily Thorne in her quest for vengeance. He's extremely loyal and some would even say to a fault. That becomes even more evident once his partner in crime, Emily, starts pulling less than tasteful moves against her foes. Nolan is just a character I find hard not to like. He's one of the best sidekicks ever. Actually, speaking of sidekicks, Revenge later in its run after gaining a big following received the comic book treatment. Revenge is a show I often bring up as a guilty pleasure of mine. Not the best show, but for some reason I became obsessed with it, and Nolan is definitely a standout. He's actually my favorite character in the show. Damn it, the more I talk about these characters, the more I think I probably should have put Nolan in my top 5. Oh well. Fun fact, the character of Emily Thorne from Revenge actually gets referenced by the character of Max in the episode Big White Lies in the show Happy Endings. Yep, the more you know. Next up is Captain Raymond Holt from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. This character was basically in a 3-way tie with Titus and Nolan. The dude be killing me sometimes with his dry-ass humor.
Are you really playing the gay card right now? God's queen.
Yeah, man, Captain Raymond Holt. Also, real quick, I want to give a special shout out to my brainy PhD having girl, Cosima from Orphan Black, who is legit one of the best characters ever and is most definitely in my top 10. Cosima is played by Miss Tatiana, who is no joke, probably the best actor on this list. She is borderline brilliant in this show. Also quickly, I want to shout out Lexa from the 100. If any of y'all have seen the show, y'all know she about that life. And by about that life, I mean fucking people up. Man, for as many honorable mentions as I did, I probably should just did a top 10. Okay, alright, on to the finale. Moving into the #1 spot of my favorite LGBTQ character in television. I want to talk to you guys about Job from Banshee.
You better brace yourself. Here come the motherfucking neighborhood.
He's sassy.
Sit your bitch asses down.
He's compassionate.
I'm not burying anyone else this month.
And he can swear and cuss like a motherfucker. I mean, this dude drops the F-bomb like it's going out of style. If there was any man who could rival Samuel Jackson in saying the word motherfucker, it's most likely going to be the actor Hoon Lee, who absolutely brings the showmanship every time he's on screen. That actor needs more work because he gave us a great performance and helped bring to life one of the more memorable characters in recent television. To all my beautiful people out there, thank you so much for letting me chat your ear off today. And if you'd like to know more about the series Banshee, well, a good friend of mine and I are actually doing a podcast called Beer and Banshee, where we recap and talk about the action-filled episodes in the underrated series known as Banshee. And we do it with beer, so, you know, that's dope. If you have not seen any of the shows I brought up in today's episode, then I highly recommend you give them a try. Especially Happy Endings, The Wire, Banshee, oh, and Revenge is fun too. Also, I feel so awful about getting my Pride Month video out so late, but I got busy with life, man. I hope all you guys enjoyed this video. Once again, thanks for letting me chat your ear off, and thanks for watching. This is Dez from Featuring Dez, signing out. Peace.
This will sound fine to your mind.
This will sound fine to your mind.
True love is harder and true love is more work than pleasure. You lose what you have and then pray it comes back to you better. Then run from the dentist cause hell no, you're not eating zoodles. Titus is great, Titus is the best, Titus is growing. Titus is great, Titus is the best, Titus is learning about true love. Oh, true love is exhausting. True love. Oh.